I want to pose a question that I don't think enough people are talking about. Let's face it, the world after this year is never going to be the same. And I don't think that's a bad thing in a lot of ways. I think that a lot of things that have come out of this, working remotely, working from home, I think that there's a lot of positives that can come out of this. But I think we'd all agree that it will never be the same. The impact that it's had on our businesses and our personal lives is going to have effects for the rest of our lives, and that's just the reality of the situation. But I think there's something that is not being talked about enough, and there's a shift in the way that potentially business is going to be done. This shift to more of a remote environment, more people working from home. And I'm not going to touch on it today. While I think that there is a lot of positives to that, I think that there's one big question that, like I said, is not being talked about enough. And that is if, everybody is working from home. And I'm not just talking about a three-person small business. Working from home and working remotely is being discussed potentially indefinitely for some big Fortune 500 companies. So this is a major, major shift. And the question is, if everybody's working from home, how do these companies continue to instill the culture and the work environment that they want? So I'm not making this video necessarily because I have a solution. Now, I do have thoughts on that, and I may share those in the future, but it's really early on in this. The reason that I'm making this video is because if you as a business owner are making that decision, you better be able to answer that question of how are you going to continue to create the culture that you want with everybody working from home. Now, this is certainly not an impossible task. This is something that there's ways that you can go about it, but it's going to look a lot different than when you have all your employees and everybody working in the same office. Nothing can replace human interaction. There's just something about sitting across the table from somebody or working in the same office with somebody, and just that level of interaction. You can kind of see more body language, see the way things are going. I just personally don't think that can ever be replaced. So how do we go about making sure that the culture is where we want it to be as business owners? And in a lot of ways, to be honest with you, I don't think I know the answer to that, which is just a reason that I'm making this video. I want some feedback from you guys, but I also just want to pose the question so that we all can start thinking about and talking about this question, because it's a really important one to answer as we move forward. So I just want to end this with a couple questions. Where do you stand with your business? I know a lot of us were forced to go remote. Is that something that you're going to continue? Are you going to get back into the office setting as soon as possible? If you have decided to continue with remote and work from home, and you have employees, what are you doing to make sure that the culture in your business is exactly what you want it to be? And I'm genuinely asking that question because, like I said, I'm not sure that I have all the answers either. I want some feedback from you guys to hear what you're doing, how you're going about this. Like I said, this to me is something that not enough people are talking about, and it needs to be talked about. I think the key right now is to start a conversation, to start dialogue. That's why I made this video and presented this topic. So if you could, drop a comment below in the comments and let me know what you're doing, or maybe you haven't made this decision yet, you're working through it. I'd love to hear about that. Or maybe you just have some thoughts on how this could be done or the issues that it could present as people are trying to work through this. Thank you guys for watching this video. Talk to you in the next one.